truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
10:02, we have 21 degrees, mostly sunny skies. It's going to stay sunny today with a high of 30. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. President Trump set to announce new 25% steel and aluminum import tariffs today. It's what he told reporters while speaking on Air Force One yesterday. It remains unclear if the steel and aluminum tariffs will be in addition to the ones that were placed on countries like China. In an online post that sparked concern from Democrats, Vice President J.D. Vance says judges aren't, quote, allowed to control the executive's legitimate power. Trump administration's run into roadblocks in court in its first 3 weeks, as we hear from ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
Federal courts have so far blocked the president's order on birthright citizenship and paused efforts to put more than 2,000 USAID workers on leave and have Elon Musk's Doge team accessing the Treasury Department's payment system. Later today, a federal judge in Boston hears arguments over the president's plan to offer buyouts to more than 2 million civilian employees. Federal workers' unions are suing, saying Trump doesn't have the legal authority to extend the offer.
3 people hurt after a crash in Washington County. Sheriff's officers responded just after 8 p.m. last night near Highway 33 and 175 in the town of Addison. Car from the eastbound lanes crossed into the westbound lanes, hitting a second car head-on. 3 people went to the hospital, 1 taken by flight for life. Their current conditions unknown. Police say alcohol may have been a factor. A blaze forced chickens to fly the coop on Sunday.
7 chickens are displaced after their coop in Brighton caught fire. Kansasville Fire and Rescue responded to 240th Avenue between Burlington Road and 18th Street, where the 8-foot by 12-foot coop was fully engulfed in flames. Fire officials say an electric heat lamp fell and set the bedding on fire. It took about 1,600 gallons of water to put the fire out. All chickens escaped and none were injured. It's unclear where they're staying warm in the meantime while a new coop is being built. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Super Bowl ads for a mix of old and new, retro and contemporary. ABC's Jim Ryan says the commercials may be generating more water cooler talk than the lopsided game itself.
Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal in a 30-second mayonnaise ad to a 15-second spot featuring Bill Murray imploring,
I don't think I need professional help, but a skilled amateur.
Advertisers await the Nielsen results on audience. Super Bowl 58 set a record for viewership last year, but the game went to overtime. The Eagles had Super Bowl 59 wrapped up at halftime, so it's likely that a lot of viewers tuned out. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 119, NASDAQ up 237, and the S&P 500 up 42 points. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:05.
Nestled in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest lies the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. Journey through 90 years of history in the timbered stone structure. It's gorgeous. And when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free 7 days a week. An amazing deal at an amazing place. Choice steaks, ribs, seafood, pasta, a big fresh salad, even the steak and lobster, any entree, your second dinner's free. The Fox and Hounds desserts, and I love those, and huge ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Unwind with an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, 20 bourbons on their bourbon list, over 100 fine wines, 8 elegant dining rooms with real wood-burning fireplaces. Wherever you live, it's worth the spectacular drive through the Kettle Moraine for your free dinner. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, a Top Choice Award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Take your family to the Fox and Hounds this week. Half your dinners are free. I love this place. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Eagles won their second ever Lombardi Trophy, dominating the Chiefs 40-22 in Super Bowl 59 from New Orleans. Damian Lillard lit up the 76ers for 43 points to lead the Bucks past Philly 135-127 from Fiserv Forum. Bucks host the Warriors tonight. Spring training just around the corner. Pitchers and catchers report on Thursday for the Brewers. The full squad arrives in Arizona next Tuesday. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Still pretty quiet out there. Just that disabled vehicle still off left I-94 west at 84th Street. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny today with a high 30, then a few snow showers tonight. Just a light dusting for most of us. A low of 15. Flurries tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy, chilly, high of 20. Snow likely on Wednesday and accumulations likely as well. A high Wednesday 27. Sunny and cold on Thursday 19 for the high. Then a chance for snow Friday afternoon and evening. High Friday 27. 20 in Madison, 14 in Green Bay, and 21 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
We like to do things by the numbers. We're all about commerce and community. Welcome to the Upswing, presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs. Now for the host that's always on the upswing, Jeff Sherman.
Now, to business, gentlemen.
Good morning, Wisconsin. Good morning, Milwaukee. Happy Monday. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Enjoyed the big game yesterday. Never underappreciate the impact and the importance of large-scale events. There are fewer and fewer of them, right? That we all truly pay attention to on some level, like the Super Bowl. So if you're a Super Bowl fan, football fan or not, it's worth the investment of time and attention, I think. So we're going to review the commercials and do a bit of post-game from a marketing lens later in the show. Tim Dwyer is going to join us. Tim is a branding expert and the co-owner of Manifesto Agency. Manifesto has offices here, right here in beautiful downtown Milwaukee, in Portland and in Nashville. And then Dave Spano, as he does each and every Monday, is going to join us to look at the week ahead. Talk about a bunch of things, including if you're planning that, maybe you're planning that trip to Florida, kind of get out of the cold and maybe coming snow. What's that look like when you compare the economies of Wisconsin and Florida? We'll talk to Dave about that coming up after the first break. Speaking of the weekend, I have a story and a question for you. Let's do that within 2 Up.
Now it's time for the 2 Up on the Upswing.
So how much do you think a side of guacamole should cost at Chipotle? We were at basketball games all weekend long, as the Sherman family often does for the weekend. Actually, Friday and Saturday, we were in Greenfield at Whitnall High School. So after my son's game on Friday night, we needed a late-night meal location, and Chipotle's open late, so we went to Chipotle. And I got the burrito bowls, really tasty. I love the hot salsa at Chipotle. It's great. But what do you think a side of guacamole runs at Chipotle now? $2.75. You know, I get the price pressure. I really do like the burritos and bowls at Chipotle. And even though Chipotle is working to downplay the concerns about prices and availability of products if the White House imposes tariffs on Mexico and Canada, it's interesting that the price pressure is coming. It's $2.75 for a little dollop of guacamole on my burrito. You can buy a full avocado at any one of the stores for, what, $2, $3? So it's interesting. The price pressure is coming to fast food. During an earnings call last week, the CFO at Chipotle said that if Mexican tariffs go through, the company's costs will continue to rise by at least 0.6 percentage points. However, he noted that Chipotle sources only 2% of its inputs from Mexico, including avocados, tomatoes, limes, and peppers. So something to keep an eye on with tariffs and prices. Second up, RTO from a CEO. While big banks like JP Morgan and Barclays are ramping up their return to office mandates, Citigroup is staying firm in its hybrid work policy. The CEO, Jane Fraser, has made it clear that flexibility isn't only a perk, it's a competitive edge. Flexibility is here to stay, she says. Most city employees are required to be back in the office 3 days a week and can work remotely for 2 days. Bank branch employees and most traders are required to be in the office 5 days a week. But the interesting thing here is that the Citibank CEO is using this policy as a difference maker and in hopes of poaching top talent from the likes of JP Morgan. I've long maintained that the flexibility comes with responsibility in the workplace, but it can also create success and better corporate culture. Be interesting to see how the continued flexibility at Citigroup continues to play out for the company. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Dave Spano, get a Monday market preview. This is The Upswing. You're listening to WTMJ.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News each weekday from 11 to 1.
Bucks President Peter Feigin joins us live here in the studio right now.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty by listening to the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast.
What you're seeing now is like the reality of, playing a season together, kind of, getting to know each other.
Powered by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more.
Don't forget, take us with you wherever you go. We'd love to have you with us.
So how would I describe our people? I'd say the people we set out to hire have to be smart, hardworking, and honest. Honesty being paramount of the three. Because honesty breeds integrity. And when you have integrity, you won't let yourself do anything less than your best. And that's who we're looking for. Character counts here, and integrity matters. And that's why it's easy for us to offer the industry's best lifetime workmanship warranty with every roof we sell. A rock-solid warranty like ours guarantees our reputation and assures your satisfaction. At Semper Fi, we do the right thing. We seize the moral high ground, and we hold it. And when you do that, you end up having a business that's going to last for generations. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
No matter how many people are in your family? Buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
The work week is here. Let's begin with your Monday market preview with Jeff Sherman and Dave Spano.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, joined on the phone by Dave Spano, CEO at Annex Wealth Management. Dave, how was the weekend?
It was great. Watched the Super Bowl yesterday. Had a lot of fun.
Good. You have a favorite ad that you're still thinking about on this morning after?
Well, there was a lot of good ones. I think to me my favorite was the other David Beckham, right?
Yes.
Matt Damon in the Stella commercial, and they said, "David, we have something to tell you. You have another brother. He's the other Dave."
Yeah, I thought
that was classic.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that spot, kind of reintroducing the brand and kind of bringing it to different demographics, having some fun with it. Stella is kind of that upscale beer brand, and I think they said, hey, this brand appeals to everyone, and did it really well. I thought it was interesting that Duncan went after Starbucks early on.
Yeah.
That was a good spot. And when Ben Affleck saying, how much money do I want to spend to wait a half hour to get my name spelled wrong on a cup?
Exactly. Well, then the other thing is, Matt Damon was also mentioned in that, right? So
Yeah.
we should have hired Matt.
That's right.
So
yeah.
a lot of stuff, and I, the other thing I thought was pretty good was the big man on the cul-de-sac. I did get some humor out of that. Those two guys and shooting the beer cans out of the leaf blower. I thought that was all good stuff. So.
Yeah, very relatable for sure. Well, I mean,
do you play pickleball?
Yeah, I do a little bit. I'm a tennis player, but I don't play a ton of pickleball. But the pickleball spot was really cool because, again, multi-generations, and it introduced a new brand, the Mick Ultra Zero, which was really a cool way to do it because it ties it back to fitness, and that's what Mick Ultra has done really well.
And of course, William Dafoe and Catherine O'Hara just kicking everyone's butt on the court. It was pretty funny stuff.
Yeah, really good use of celebrity there for sure. So related to advertising, Dave, I want to ask you, what do you think the mood is now for the American consumer? And can we answer this question in a non-political way? And what's the data saying in terms of how people are viewing spending now?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great question. So, everyone knows they have this Michigan consumer sentiment, and they go out and they do a survey, right, of households, and they ask them basic questions about their personal finance, business conditions, the overall economic outlook, and they take a survey. And, there's things that obviously can change that, and, the inputs that they've learned over time are economic conditions, and the changing of those change people's moods, interest rates, geopolitical events, stock market performance. All of these things certainly change people's perspectives, and it's changing. There was an article in the Wall Street Journal this morning that a lot of this enthusiasm that Trump came in is now turning into, well, let's take a look at what really is going to happen. Are the tariffs really going to go through? Is it really not a negotiating tactic? And so a lot of this stuff is interesting in changing people's perspectives. We spent some time talking about tariffs, and my comment a couple of weeks ago is he's using an economic tool to achieve non-economic outcomes. And will that really work? Because at the end of the day, if you just use it as a lever, that's one thing. But if you actually input them and implement them, that's a different thing altogether. But I know you try to answer this question, apolitically, and I certainly try to answer all my questions apolitically. Yeah. But if you look at it, if you identify as a Republican in the sentiment study, it went from a 47 all the way up to in 83. And if you identified as a Democrat, it went from a 92 all the way down to 59. So it's just a big old flip-flop depending on how you identify as a Republican or a Democrat. So it's certainly economics does play into people's mood.
Yeah, and I think, whether it's a political answer or not, we're getting to a point where it's macro and micro too. People are seeing, what's happening on the large scale global level, but ultimately people want to know what's happening in their world, in their communities, and with their jobs. So I think it's interesting to see how mood and sentiment changes with job numbers too. I want to see when we come back, Dave, how you interpret the jobs report from Friday, because the jobs market seems like it's chugging along pretty well, but at a little bit of a slower pace than the previous 2 months. We're talking with Dave Spano, CEO at Annex Wealth Management. This is the Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
Founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business. This is WTMJ's Jeff Sherman speaking on behalf of my good friends at Horicon Bank. Horicon Bank, they've been doing banking differently since 1896. Financing requests, they can be approved in days. You don't have to wait weeks because your banker understands you and your business. Service and products go hand in hand. They provide top-notch products that meet your cash flow needs. Horicon Bank, they get the job done. Together, doing good, that's their vision, and they're committed to doing what it takes to help your business grow. Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice. Member, FDIC.
Get ready to save on supplies for your furry and feathered friends at Fleet Farm's Paws and Claws event. Get a free $15 gift card for every $75 you spend on Purina pet products. And stock up on Pine Tree Farm suet cakes. Multiple flavors, 5 for $5. While you're at it, pick up 20 pounds of KT Basic Blend Bird Food, sale priced at $7.99. Stop in and get everything you need for all your pets. All at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
During your career, investments piled up. From 401ks to brokerage accounts, it turned into quite a collection. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe every portfolio tells a story. We've analyzed thousands. Some reflect diligence and fortitude. Others, a mishmash of overlapping investments. When Annex reviews a portfolio, we spot what works, what might not, and then provide unbiased suggestions. Every portfolio tells a story. Let's work on yours. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary. That's our story. Head to AnnexWealth.com.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests.
We'll do 2 Michelob Ultras.
Excuse me, would you consider playing us?
For the Ultras.
Oh, we're kind of at a high level.
Fascinating.
You guys sure you want this?
Please serve.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, joined on the phone by Dave Spano, CEO at Annex Wealth Management. Pickleball provides lots of new jobs in many ways, right? The sport's exploding on a local and national level, more broadcast and media opportunities, obviously taking it to the next level with Super Bowl ad yesterday from Mick Ultra Zero. So, Dave, as we look at the mood connected to the jobs report on Friday, what's your interpretation here? It seems to be moving along at a pretty good, brisk pace.
Yeah, it really is. It was a mixed report, to be honest, the way we looked at it. But, you got to put a lot of things into this. And one of them is immigration, right? So if the immigration picture changes, what does that mean to certain industries? Think, agriculture or think retail, beverages, all of these things in the retail space. That could change significantly. And then, the other thing that we're looking at is there's a possibility that the Fed has overinflated the number of jobs that are out there. And so we could get a correction. We're gonna learn a lot more this week, Jeff, because This is the week that we get the semi-annual report from the Fed, and so Chair Powell testifies before Congress, and this check-in will, I'm sure, he'll take a lot of questions, and he hasn't been the favorite person of DJT, so we'll find out what that is, and I would say for sure there's going to be a lot of questions and a lot of concern about how this thing goes forward. But as you said, it is chugging along. But there's two pieces that we're looking at. It seems that the GDP numbers are lower than they were anticipated, and inflation is higher than anticipated. And those two things will probably put the Fed on ice for a bit.
All right. Well, I want to keep tax policy and tax code front and center here as we head into April. There's a controversial loophole in the tax code that's kind of under threat. You mentioned Donald Trump. Why does he want to close the carried interest loophole? And first and foremost, talk to us about what the carried interest loophole is and what the effects could be.
Yeah, so carried interest is it's deep in the tax code, and it's really for real estate developers, hedge funds, private equity, that they get a tax benefit, and this is the tax benefit. So normally if you get a distribution and it's a pass-through, you take it as income, right? And you have to put it on the income schedule, and it goes all the way up to up to 40% if you include the 3.8%. So this carried interest says it's not income, but it can be taxed as capital gain because it's a risk asset. And so it is, to me, it's red meat. And it seems like Trump is throwing two things to the Democrats, because he's negotiating. Yeah. And the two things are carried interest, because to me it's a big nothing burger. And number two is he's going to invoke the SALT tax, the state and local income tax. So the Democrats want SALT back, and they really want to say, why did these big hedge fund, big shots get a tax benefit that normal people don't get? So if he gives them carried interest, and perhaps, because it doesn't make a lot. If you look at it, it's symbolic. It's probably $1 billion a year, and you think about that relative to the real budget, it's not much. Right. And then SALT. So if he gives these two things, especially to those people who live in California and New York who pay higher real estate taxes, then he can come back and say, all right, then this is what we want. And it might be a lower corporate tax. Today it's 21%, and that's permanent. That doesn't go back. Maybe lower that down to 15 or 16 or even 18%.
All right. So again, kind of that micro and macro. I mean, things are in negotiation. We're in that negotiation phase, and we'll see where it all shakes out.
Yeah, I'm calling you today from sunny Florida.
Ah, all right.
And it's interesting. We have an office down here in Naples, Florida. And it's interesting. A lot of happy faces down here.
Yeah. I mean, what are, when you look at kind of the key economic differences between Wisconsin and Florida, what stands out there for you?
Well, you think about why people come down here, right? Well, obviously the weather, right? Yeah. So if it's 80 and sunny, not to bring that up, but because I'm a Wisconsin boy, right? But the weather's part of that. People are out. No state income taxes. So Florida does not have a state income taxes. Now they get revenue from other places, right? But allowing residents to keep more of their state income tax. So a lot of people will relocate from high tax states, not Wisconsin, but New York and New Jersey and places like that where it's much higher than it is in Wisconsin, and they relocate and they don't have to pay that. So that's part of it. Retirement and health care are all part of these things. But the job market here, we talked about job market earlier. Tourism, healthcare, technology are all down in Florida, and parts of Florida are different, right? So Southwest Florida is a little different than Jacksonville, right? And so all of these are part of the conversation. And I drive around and I see lots of Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota license plates all over the place. So it's very on the southwest side of Florida. it's very Midwest centric and more on on the other side, the Palm Beach areas, Fort Lauderdale, it's more of an East Coast thing. But that's changing as well, too.
Yeah. Well, and you just look at simply the jobs. I mean, you mentioned it's tourism and real estate mainly in Florida, and still in Wisconsin, the economy mainly driven around manufacturing and agriculture. So, I mean, they're obviously all very important, but when you look at a purely personal standpoint, hey, maybe it is that no income tax policy thing that is making people say, hey.
And the weather doesn't hurt,
relocate.
right?
Yeah, I always say on the weather side, Dave, for me, I like to live in the Midwest. I like the change in seasons, and it makes me appreciate those 70
I'm born and bred
so much more.
I'm born and bred Wisconsin boy, so I'm with you on that.
No matter what, bring back some.
I'm down here working,
for
everybody.
Yeah,
Just
that's
everyone
right. It's all about work. All right, Dave, enjoy the rest of the week. Always appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. See ya.
Okay, see ya. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 10:30. ABC News and local headlines are next. And then Super Bowl talk with Tim Dwyer from Manifesto Agency. Big insights coming.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump saying that Palestinians will not have the right to return to Gaza under his plan for the U.S. to own the war-torn territory. The comments in an interview with Fox's Brett Baer set to air today. Hamas is now claiming the IDF is delaying people who want to return north and that they are slowing down aid in the territory. And because of that, the group is delaying the next hostage release.
The IDF also expanding its operation in the occupied West Bank. 2 Palestinian women, one of them pregnant, was killed by Israeli forces, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry there. The IDF saying they are investigating the incident.
ABC's Brett Clinton in Tel Aviv. A third federal judge has blocked the president's executive order ending birthright citizenship for the children of people who are in the U.S. illegally. President Trump becoming the first sitting president to attend the Super Bowl. On his way there, announcing the U.S. will soon be imposing 25% tariffs on all steel products coming into the country. This is ABC News.
At WTMJ News Time 10:31, I'm Connie Weber. National Institutes of Health reducing research funding for indirect costs to 15% starting today. NIH Madison's largest source of federal support, with indirect cost funding supporting building out labs and infrastructure for clinical trials. UW officials say the reductions will impact student opportunities for research and disrupt research activity. Don't scan that QR code. Greenfield police warning of a new scam involving Amazon packages. Scammers are sending packages to residents with a QR code inside to find out who sent the package. Once scanned, the scammers get the personal information on your phone. If you receive anything suspicious, contact local police. And remembering Mr. Baseball, the Brewers debut a New Jersey patch honoring the late Bob Uecker. Patch has a gold and navy plaid print in homage of the colorful sports coats Uecker wore throughout his career. It'll appear on the arm sleeve of the Brewers uniforms for the full 2025 season. Fans can see the patch during the spring training first game on Saturday, February 22nd, when the Brewers take on the Cincinnati Reds. To see it, you can text the word patch to the Siding Unlimited talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Markets are still up. Dow up 57 points, 44,361. The Nasdaq is up 210 at 19,734. The S&P 500 is up 33 points at 6,059. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at your roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Still pretty quiet out there. Disabled vehicle, I-94 West at 84th Street. Also, I-43 South, Silver Spring Drive. There was some debris in the roadway. Looks like that has been cleared off. Looks like pretty smooth sailing on the freeway system. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny today with a high of 30, then a few snow showers moving in tonight. Light dusting for most of us. Overnight low of 15. Flurries tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy, chilly with a high Tuesday of 20. And then snow accumulations likely on Wednesday. 27 for the high. Sunny on Thursday, but chilly temperatures with a high 19. And then a chance for snow Friday afternoon and evening with a high of 27. 20 in Madison, 14 in Green Bay, 21 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
James Imaging Systems. Local support. local accountability, local business technology representatives. Listen to Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leidinger.
She still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
Michael Quizon, IT Systems Administrator at Great Midwest Bank, discovered the benefits of working with the local team at James.
Our cost from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
James Imaging Systems client Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, on dealing with James.
They are making sure you get the full value and life of every product that you have with them.
Local support, local accountability, local people. Get it all with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Hi folks, this is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
You don't have to be friends with someone to wave at them. We won't always agree on which way to go. But our differences can be our strength. So choose, but choose wisely. Choose what makes you happy. My friends, my family, my work make me happy. This Jeep makes me happy, even though my name is
National hero right there, Harrison Ford for Jeep from the Super Bowl yesterday. Truly one of my favorite spots, one that really stood out. A, because it was a surprise. I hadn't seen it teased anywhere. I hadn't read the script. I hadn't seen a preview on social. So kudos to Harrison Ford and Jeep for bringing that emotional appeal to the Super Bowl. As you look at the ads in the game yesterday, I think it was the ideal game. Tim Dwyer, co-owner of Manifesto Agency, joins us in studio, branding expert and much, much more. Tim, thanks for your time. I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely fun to be here.
Yesterday's game was, I think, the ideal football game to focus on the ads. Because the play, yes, well, exciting, but the game was seemingly over right away. So it almost made you focus more on the time in between the play.
It's true. It was a bit of a slaughter, and
Yes.
some people didn't get their chance to go for three. So,
Yes.
but that's okay. But it did provide lots of opportunity to be able to catch those TV spots, which were abundant.
Yes. So I'd love your take on just if you had to pick, you did do a little rank and rock here. Give us your two favorite spots and why.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to agree with a lot of people that Dung Kings 2 was one of the top favorite spots. And part of the reason was because of just the ensemble cast of characters, certainly a little bit of self-awareness, what people would say about just being able to be self-effacing in that, not taking things too seriously, but a really strategic approach on the part of Dunkin's, which was kind of big contrast to Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
Like the corporate juggernaut who's trying to actually make a play at the same time for getting customers back in store.
Did you see the Starbucks ad that aired right before the game, and what did you think of that strategy? It was really a hello again. That was the name of the ad. That was a way to reintroduce Starbucks on a big scale.
Yeah, I think in some ways it was in direct contrast, right?
Yeah.
And I did see that Starbucks spot. They also played it at the end of the Super Bowl as well to sort of, because today's a big, as you put the free thing out there,
Yes,
today you can get a free cup of
indeed.
coffee
Yep.
at Starbucks on if you sign up on the app. But that was a very strategic way of also making a huge shift to come back to real in-person experiences, having lessened that through COVID and shifted their strategy. So that whole writing your name on the cup and invitation back to come talk to a barista is huge for them.
Yeah. Quickly, your thoughts on Dunkin' kind of going after Starbucks within the ad. Is that a good strategy? Or, I mean, to me, I'm an equal opportunity coffee drinker. Like, I'll go to Dunkin', I'll go to McDonald's, I'll go to Starbucks. And so that to me is kind of like, you have to do that. I appreciate the humor and the appeal within it. Does that work for brands?
It does. It does. That sort of challenger strategy, I think, works many, many times over. And people are, I would say it used to be that challenger strategies only worked when you're like a lesser brand in some way. But I think people consider these different brands, but they're in the same space. And I think nipping at the heels of your competitor often is a huge way to win. And we've seen that in I guess, mass scale now being used against some of the biggest brands in the world in the coffee sector. And, more self-effacing, less pretentious is a nice juxtaposition between, your triple, venti macchiato at Starbucks,
That's right. Full disclosure, I did use my free Starbucks this morning. The app reminded me. I'm like, hey, it worked. Yeah. And that's something, when you give us your second spot, Tim, I want to talk about as well. Like, what struck me in a lot of the spots was just a lack of call to action. Like, there's engagement, there's humor, there's parody, there's nostalgia, but none of the spots really said, buy me now or do this now. So when we come back, I want to get your thoughts on that, and then we'll get your second most favorite spot. This is The Upswing. You're listening to WTMJ.
I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. Taxes in retirement could take a bigger bite out of your savings than ever before. With a rising tax environment, many retirees are worried about running out of money. At Drake & Associates, we understand those fears, and we're here to help you feel more confident about your retirement. That's why we're offering a free retirement toolkit and a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready, to help you take control of your financial future. Don't let rising taxes catch you off guard. Text TAX to 414-897-9522 to claim your free resources. That's TAX to 414-897-9522.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlands.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you a free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Richlands. WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You've been dealing with it forever, right? That ankle pain or the back or knee pain. It was a nuisance at first, and you kind of just put up with it. Now it's nearly debilitating for you, and it's affecting everything you do. It's time to get rid of that. Let's get rid of that pain that's always just kind of been there. You don't even remember how long it's been now. Call QC Kinetics. Groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain, long-term relief. It is possible. Joint pain doesn't get better with time. So before it's absolutely debilitating, see if you're a candidate for this life-changing regenerative treatment. No painkillers, no surgery, no downtime. QC Kinetics regenerative treatments are sweeping the nation. Patients right here in southeast Wisconsin. They have a location in Mequon and another in Greenfield. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. And if it's easier on your schedule, they're even open on Saturdays. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
What we've found is that when you have workers who feel valued, you get better results. This is why good people and good culture should matter to anyone looking for an exterior remodeling company they can trust. It's going to be your experience and the end result that gives you peace of mind, because you'll know your work was done by people who care. We realized early on that if we were going to change the reputation of this industry for the better, that finding good workers that you could trust to do great work was going to be the key. We're attracting good people every day because we take care of our people. We want to make sure they feel important, because they are. And we're going to make sure you feel important and valued too, with excellent customer service and high quality work. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Welcome back to the Upswing. What's your recall? What was that spot, Tim?
Oh, the drinking on the job?
Yes.
That one? I would put that at the top one.
Yeah.
Like broad appeal, liquid death.
Yes.
Letting people know it's safe. It's just water. You shouldn't be scared to drink on the job.
Indeed. Yeah, I thought that was fun. I thought it really, really worked. I'd say that was easily in my top 5. I mean, for the most part, the Super Bowl spots mainly, I think, went for laughs and nostalgia, and they steered clear of controversy and maybe kind of left the surprises on the field. But what was your second most favorite ad? And then talk to us about, please, just the lack of call to action in ads. Like, is that the way you do Super Bowl ads? I was struck by that. Hardly any of the ads, except for a local ad out of a Madison-based company that kind of called for us to download an app for a chance to win money. There wasn't a lot of, hey, do this now, buy this now.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. I'll jump into that in a second. I think one of the top ads for me, and maybe different from other people, was actually one that catered toward business people. It was actually near the end of the Super Bowl, which was a GoDaddy spot, and totally focused. It ran with this insight. You can divide ideas into things that are fun, entertaining, and insightful. And this one, it really featured the concept of someone who was, actors. It started the idea actors can tell you anything, but it's hard. But the whole insight around that particular spot was about the fact that when you start a business, you don't really know much. And so having, GoDaddy plus Arrow in this thing makes you basically believe that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I love that insight.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Right. They showed us a use case for the product while being funny and just relevant.
Totally. Act like you know what you're doing. It's an insight that you think business owners can leverage.
Exactly, right. When you're starting off in an endeavor, everyone often says, fake it till you make it. Well, that's what GoDaddy told us that we do, and they provide a solution to get there.
Exactly, which, we've certainly used many others. The second thing you mentioned was just about the call to action. And I actually heard a video from Hormozy. I don't know if you know him as an online influencer, very popular, but he basically just says, we're going to see, and again, it's a different form when you talk about Instagram and Facebook and ads there, but just saying we're watching in some ways people departing from call to action because it's more about becoming a beacon that people want to follow up on. And I think the call to action is lessening more broadly. And I think it's okay. Once you know what someone's about, you're going to take the next step.
Yeah.
So I think call to actions are perhaps a little bit, over the top and in your face, and we might see them waning.
Yeah. Well, and if you're consulting with companies that aired Super Bowl ads, how do you suggest they continue to drive that engagement in the coming weeks?
Yeah. So someone like a Starbucks, again, offering this idea of, they called for 200,000, Sharpies, for instance, and just said we need to run the shows up for people's names so we can give them a free cup of coffee today. Social listening would be the number one thing, saying what's trending, even if it's controversial. How do you get into the conversation? So spend some time listening if you're a small business on what the conversation is so you can get in on it, whether it's for or against. And there were some controversial spots a little bit, as there always are. At the same time, leverage what's trending a bit. So capture that stuff. The other piece I'll put on there and just say where small businesses have a place to win is AI is hot in 2025, of course, and adjacently building your business through AI and all your tools, but so is human. And so we're going to see this divergence where the human touch, little aspects like that are going to grow immensely. And so I would say be focusing on the humanity that only your company can provide compared to a digital counterpart.
When we come back, I want to get your thoughts on the 2 ads that didn't stick for you, and then talk a little bit more about just that. Tim Dwyer from Manifesto. We'll talk about that emotional appeal ad and kind of, hey, does that matter in the Super Bowl, and which ads on an emotional level truly stood out? This is The Upswing. You're listening to WTMJ.
Wisconsin winters are unpredictable.
This is history. Never had a tornado touchdown in February.
We keep you updated on blizzards.
Winter storm warning has been issued for all of southeast Wisconsin, and it's going to get really, really dicey.
Blackouts.
Tens of thousands of customers across southeast Wisconsin are without power this morning.
Icy roads.
Very, very slick conditions pretty much everywhere.
And more. With WTMJ Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts on air and at WTMJ.com.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, "Wherever you go, my heart goes with you."
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
We are Outdoor Living Unlimited. We put cool stuff in your yard. Patios, decks, pergolas, outdoor kitchens, screen rooms, even in-ground pools. You dream it, we design it together, then Outdoor Living Unlimited installs it for you. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Look, from the very beginning, football's been a conspiracy to make us hungry. Now let me tell you where it all started.
And we'll call this a pigskin. Make people crave bacon.
And everybody loves bacon.
I love bacon.
Bacon.
Bacon. Ever ask yourself how Buffalo got a team?
These wings deserve a team.
Yeah. I figured out a good team name for Buffalo, Bill. Buffalo. Buffalo.
They do anything to sell food.
Do I have to be called refrigerator?
Welcome back to the Upswing.
Even Peyton was in on it.
Uber Eats, I think, just did a wonderful job in terms of how they positioned the brand, tied it back to the event, and really made it approachable for consumers. Your thoughts on that, Ed, Tim?
Totally agree. I mean, it was like when you look at the simplest formula, they basically created an awesome opportunity to just show, hey, all of these things you can get in your cart. And I watched my kids just sort of like instantly light up at character after character after character, plus Old Spice. Nailed it.
We're talking with Tim Dwyer from Manifesto Agency. Tim, when you look at the spots that didn't hit for you, what lessons can brands learn there? For me, the WeatherTech spot, I'm a fan of that product. I have it in my cars, and it kind of just made me a little sad. I didn't think they hit on the reason why you need WeatherTech in your car.
Yeah, that little Golden Girls Gone Wild, we'll call it, execution, I think, was interesting because I thought, are they trying to appeal to a different audience, potentially, that they haven't looked at before, or just something that was, broadly appealing? But I agree, it didn't kind of hit on the core attributes and was a little bit light. I think it's not going to rank super well for that reason.
Yeah.
And it was a big spend for them, actually.
Yeah, for sure. What's another ad that you thought fell flat a little bit?
I personally thought the Stoke Coffee Channing Tatum story was just, I didn't love the execution on that one. I thought, when you take sort of some of the cheap tricks and thrills there, it is doesn't always come to life. And you've only got 30 seconds, and you can see sometimes people have created long form ads that they've cut down, and they just don't make sense very well in 30 seconds.
Yeah,
and that was one. I think there are others that probably just didn't didn't play out well.
Finally, as you look at what the NFL did in terms of positioning its brand within its biggest game, obviously they do a great job of production and showcasing the Super Bowl. I thought the NFL spot talking about flag football dovetailed well with the Nike ad that really resonated. What were your thoughts on the NFL positioning itself to maybe a new audience?
Yeah. So I liked the strategy. I enjoyed the strategy. And the piece was entertaining as a whole, right? So the strategy to say, when you trace it back to its origin and say, what does it look like to elevate flag football? But I think this idea of like leave the past in the past, the way it was executed, it was a little bit of a trope that many of us have seen before, a little bit expected. It had lots of parts and pieces like that truly felt like we did do a rewind. And we're like, is this really exactly the issue today that girls don't play football? But I do think from where they took it to and where they want to go and what they're actually pushing for the cause, it accomplished that. So it's going to be controversial. I'm pretty sure it's already trending in that way.
Yeah.
But again, I give them kudos for the attempt.
Yeah, I mean, and they had some star power in it too. They had Pat McAfee, you had Marshawn Lynch, you had Justin Jefferson, and so they had some big names, but they're also appealing on an emotional level and getting themselves into an issue maybe that is top of mind. And I think that can really work for brands.
Yeah, I think their ability to wade, they're also bulletproof in their ability to wade into an issue and say that they've got credibility to push for something. But they've also got, there's also skin in the game that doesn't make it so unbiased. And we did look at there's a variety of brands pushing forward things like Hims and Hers. That was a big controversial one as well, where you're saying, hey, this is hard to have a public service announcement approach when you have so much to gain and benefit from. And so I think consumers do respond to that a little bit, saying kind of keep it clean with a PSA or something that really benefits you, but don't necessarily always mix the two.
Very good. Tim Dwyer from Manifesto. Tim, I appreciate your time and insights post Super Bowl with us here. Everyone's still talking about the ads, and ultimately, that's what you want. Talkability for the rest of the week and beyond. Speaking of, enjoy the rest of your week. Coming up next, Wisconsin's Midday News.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Southeast Wisconsin could see another big data center. An executive with the $500 billion